ABC's royal contributor Omid Scobie joins us now to take a deeper dive into all this. Omid, you wrote Finding Freedom about the issues that led Prince Harry and Meghan to leave. So you've known about the rifts in the family for quite some time. Around the time of the alleged fight between Princes Harry and William, what was the dynamic like within the family?
Well, Lindsay, it was so interesting sort of looking back on those moments where we were covering the story for the book and now being able to hear it from the man himself. It's very rare that we get a member of the royal family, a senior one at that, opening up about these really personal moments in the family. But as we've heard in Spare, that rift between the brothers was really at an all-time peak at that time. And what amazes me about that moment is that just how easily it was kept secret up until now. So it does show you that things can be hidden and kept away when wanted.
And when speaking about things being hidden, had you heard anything about a physical fight before now or any rifts that would make you suspect that something like this would happen?
We had definitely heard about moments between the brothers that were incredibly heated and language used by William that was incredibly inflammatory at the time, but never a word about any kind of physical attack. And of course, this was an assault by William on his younger brother. People might want to sort of play it down as sort of sibling rivalry or brothers having a little spat. But actually, it was much more serious than that. These are two men well into their 30s. Harry, of course, in his own space at home, wanting to have a serious discussion with his brother, that, as we saw, really reached a point where even William himself, who, according to Harry, apologized soon after, came to regret. But I think it just shows that wedge that can easily be driven between family members when it comes to being working members of the royal family.
During the time of your book, what were Meghan and Harry thinking about their future? Was there any consideration from them at that point that they might leave their roles as senior royals?
Can go back as far as the wedding itself, to those first moments when they started thinking about life outside palace walls. And I think really things hit a serious peak for them in that sort of November, December time of 2018, when they realized that the institution wouldn't be protecting them or defending them from some of the many negative and toxic stories that started being reported about them in the press. This was, of course, a time when Meghan was beginning to be known as Duchess Difficult. And many of the sources behind those stories came from within the palace itself. Harry desperately wanted his wife to be protected and very quickly found out that that wasn't going to happen.
What do you make of the allegation that Prince William and Kate Middleton encouraged Harry to wear a Nazi costume, which ended up, of course, setting off a massive firestorm in the media?
Harry actually goes into great detail in the book about how he regrets that moment, how he takes full accountability for it. And of course, within that story is also the fact that William and Kate really sort of turned a blind eye to Harry's choice to wear that Nazi uniform in the first place. They almost sort of found it funny. But I think that shows really sort of perhaps the shared level of ignorance within the royal household that we sometimes see.
On the one hand, Harry says that he wants to reconcile with his family, but then on the other, he's also done this docuseries, interviews, now this book revealing private and damning details. Do you think that he's making any reconciliation impossible?
I think there's many things that he still sees as unfinished business, accountability and apologies being one of them. And I think that those are the things that he's really wanted to gain from doing these documentaries, from speaking in the book, from being so candid. Of course, we've still got interviews with him over the days ahead where more revelations will no doubt come out. It does make it very difficult for the royal family. They do strictly abide by that never complain, never explain mantra. And I think that that's not just in front of the world, that's also behind palace walls as well. They'll hope that this will just disappear, that the book will come and go and the worst will have passed. But I don't think that that will ever see Harry find what he's looking for.
And what you just said, that old adage from the royals, never complain, never explain. But at what point do the royals start doing their own press and maybe telling their side, or do they just stay silent?
I think in this case, they're going to be in a really difficult position not to respond to some of the things that come out in this book. Of course, Harry goes into great detail about how members of the family have leaked stories to sort of help themselves in the public eye, often turning to people like Harry, the spare, as collateral damage in the process. And I think these are going to be things that they'll have to address at some point.
ABC Royals contributor Omid Scobie, we thank you, as always, for your time and insight. Appreciate it. Michael Strahan's interview with Prince Harry airs Monday on Good Morning America, and later that night you can watch an ABC News Live special report on that sit-down at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Prince Harry, in his own words, it streams on Hulu the next day.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.